Pro wrestling, a violent soap opera that is well known for its tendency to push the limits of human decency for entertaining stories. Sometimes these storylines can have us on the edge of our seats, glued to the screen or cheering on as the dastardly heel gets his comeuppance. However, other times it can be straight up offensive, distasteful, or so terrible it's unintentionally hilarious. In this list, we're looking at 8 times that the WWE pushed the envelope and crossed the line. So call the woke police because we're about to get cancelled. Number 8. That's too far. In 2017, leading up to Jinder Mahal vs Shinsuke Nakamura at Hell in the Cell, Jinder cut a series of promos on Shinsuke displaying various photos of him on the big screen while in the ring making fun of him. The angle was that Jinder believed Nakamura couldn't handle being the heavyweight champion like he could, as the WWE fans would hurl racist abuse at Nakamura like they do with him. Jinder would say that the fans will chant USA at you, they'll tell you to go home, or even that you need to learn English. In the process, Jinder mocked the Japanese accent among other things. In a later promo, fans even chanted "That's too far" after Jinder said that fans refer to Nakamura as Mr. Miyagi behind his back. Despite this being quite funny and full of cringe, a lot of the fans thought that the promos were in very bad taste. Number 7. Dr. Heine and Nurse Slobberknockers. In 2005, good old Jim Ross took time off from the commentary duties to undergo colon surgery. For reasons known only to Vince McMahon, he decided to make fun of JR's life-threatening illness. In this distasteful and highly ridiculous moment, Vince, alongside Dr. Heine and Nurse Slobberknockers, proceeds to perform JR's colon surgery. The segment sees Vince pulling barbecue sauce, a football, a helmet, a Stone Cold shaped mug, Mae Young's other hand, and an owl, amongst other things, from JR's backside, before using the jaws of life to stretch him open and remove JR's head, proclaiming, "JR, we've solved the problem. You've had your head up your ass." But Vince wasn't done there. He shoves JR's body off of the operating table and proceeds to mount Nurse Slobberknockers. Jim Ross himself on the Grilling JR podcast would later say that he believed Vince had done these segments out of personal animosity towards him. Number 6. I'm in Afghanistan. During the WWE's ill-fated and awful ECW TV rebranding, on January 20th, 2007, Vince McMahon struts up to Sabu and calls him a member of the Taliban, stating, "I'm not in Texas, I'm in Afghanistan." The Vince McMahon character in 2007 was portrayed as a total madman, and he seemed determined to generate as much controversy and heat as possible, even if that meant resorting to cheap tactics. Unfortunately, this moment was no exception. Vince was attempting to figure out how to showcase Sabu on TV, and he thought that this controversial approach would be the best way to get him over with the audience. Number 5. Special needs. Eugene was a wrestling gimmick that sparked mixed opinion among fans. Portrayed as the nephew of Raw General Manager Eric Bischoff, Eugene's character was based on a special needs personality with an idiot savant twist, showcasing remarkable wrestling abilities. This gimmick received both love and hate from the audience. Eugene had made his debut on Raw on April 5th, 2004, when a returning William Regal was assigned by Uncle Eric to manage this unique talent, standing 6 foot 1 inch tall and weighing 240 pounds. Eugene quickly became Regal's comedic sidekick, leading to several humorous moments. As time passed, Eugene grew on Regal and they developed a genuine bond on TV, with Regal even training Eugene to face Triple H in their feud. Together, they went on to become tag team champions. Some of the moments with Eugene were borderline bullying, and of course, Vince got right in on the action, with both Shane and Vince picking on him for being a DX fan and flushing his head down the toilet on July 10th, 2007. However, Vince would ultimately lose to Eugene thanks to DX. What are your thoughts on the Eugene character? Let us know your opinions in the comments below. Number 4. Kidnapping, dry humping, and poetry. On the September 16th, 2004 edition of SmackDown, Heidenreich kidnapped and sexually assaulted Michael Cole. Why? Because according to Heidenreich, Vince McMahon dreamed about it. Yes, Vince dreamed about poor old Michael Cole being subject to a cringe-worthy and disturbing experience. This segment undoubtedly pushed the envelope, seeing Heidenreich humping and choking Cole before reading him a terrible poem. Considering it happened on the PG-rated SmackDown, we're still scratching our heads as to how it even aired. Michael Cole looked terrified the entire time before Heidenreich finally let him go, but not without forcing Cole to thank him for the poem he wrote, of course. Number 3. The Lunchtime Suicides. At the Armageddon pay-per-view in 2005, WWE aired a promo with an injured and retired referee Tim White at his bar. After cocking his shotgun, he walked off camera and the gun was heard going off. It would later be revealed that his attempted suicide had been botched and he had instead shot himself in the foot. This led to a series the WWE called the Lunchtime Suicides, which would air weekly on WWE.com. These comedy sketches, if you could call them that, would show Tim White and Josh Matthews together, with Matthews being naively unaware of what was happening to the end. The sketches depicted Matthews yelling, "Mr. White, that's not wise," until the final episode where Tim White takes out his shotgun at the bar and shoots Josh Matthews, ending the series. This was another instant where WWE divided its audience, with some fans being outraged at the time, while others likened the deaths to that of a Looney Tunes episode or Kenny from South Park. What do you think of these segments? Did they seem silly and slapstick comedy to you, or did the WWE go too far? Let us know in the comments. Number 2. Making love to a mannequin. In what is considered the worst storyline in wrestling history, in 2002, Triple H accuses Kane of killing his former friend Katie Vick. The storyline sees Triple H implying that Kane and Katie were more than just friends, and he accuses Kane of sleeping with Katie. The one thing Triple H wants to know is whether Kane slept with her before or after she died. Tasteless, we know, and that's not even the worst of it. Triple H would later show a video claiming it was from 1992, where he dressed as Kane and climbed into Katie's casket to simulate making love to her. Even though it was obviously a mannequin, it still doesn't sit right. Things go from awful and tasteless to downright morbid when the camera comes back and Triple H, as Kane, asks, "Was it as good for you as it was for me?" before holding what appears to be brains and saying he just screwed her brains out. The backlash from this story was instant, but that didn't stop Triple H from coming out on Raw a week later with the Katie Vick doll and taking shots at the fans. The whole storyline still causes controversy to this day, and although you can track it down, it's one of the hardest bits of footage to find online from the WWE due to this, which is really saying something. Number 1. What's good in the hood? At Survivor Series 2005, Vince McMahon would drop an N-bomb on John Cena. In the context of wrestling, this segment was poking fun at the time Booker T accidentally called Hulk Hogan the N-word in WCW. Back in 2005, Booker's catchphrase was, "Tell me he didn't just say that." So of course, crazy eccentric Vinnie Mac had to get in on it with this bit of controversy. In this envelope-pushing segment, Vince struts up to John Cena and asks him, "What's good in the hood?" following up with, "Keep it up, mate." Well, you get the point. Before strutting past a jaw-jacked Booker T who delivers his catchphrase, "Tell me he didn't just say that." Do you have a favorite or totally hated moment from when the WWE went too far pushing the envelope? Don't forget to let us know in the comments.